Well, no, I'm saying why can't she, whatever job she quit is what I'm saying. Like, if you were both lawyers and you decided to open a practice, what sounds hurtful is when you're asking her to quit being a partner and come be a receptionist, as if her being a partner at that law firm wasn't valued to you. The only thing she could bring to your team is to be a receptionist. That sounds hurtful.
To the guys on the panel, how long you staying with your woman that's not submissive and is outright disrespectful? Well, just not submissive to you. How long would you stay in a relationship and then the same thing, a marriage?
No kids?
No kids. No kids.
Oh yeah, that's that's on site. I think you should, as soon as you notice it, if you could try to make a little bit of correction, right, and see how they adhere to it. But if you see it's not going that way, haul ass.
Yeah, I have to agree with Trev, man. I think pretty early on, you know, if you've been experiencing her and interacting with her in about a month, and you see that it's really not going to correct itself or change, then I think you might have to exit left.
Well, what I usually tell guys when they run into an issue where the woman no longer wants to yield to them or submit, file for separation. And
See somebody if they married.
Yeah, well, we're talking about marriage, right?
So,
I mean, if it's a girlfriend, you break
Can
up
I
in
ask
a
the men a
minute.
question? What's an example of submissiveness to y'all? And this is regarding to being in a relationship, a girlfriend, wife, you name it. What are some examples
I can give you an
that you
example.
want? Yeah. Right.
If you're working at a law firm and you're a partner, and I'm a pharmaceutical or I'm MD doctor or whatever, and I open up a practice and I say, hey, look, I'm ready to start building generational wealth for our children and our children's children. I'm going to run this business up from the ground. I got everything I needed. I got a team behind me to make sure we're going to be successful because they've run multiple practices as well. So we can't fail. I need you to go ahead and cash out on your portion of the firm and leverage that money so we can get some of the equipment we need in our practice. And I need you to work at the front desk until we build up enough revenue to hire someone. And yeah, let's go ahead and put the 2-week notice in. And the woman say, okay, fine. And she called her boss, put a 2-week notice in, sell her shares, and we off to the races.
Okay, so I have a question. What if that woman is in her passion and she's following her dream and she's also trying to build up her vision of what she, is trying to bring into her life? If that is something that, she is extraordinarily passionate about, is there room for a compromise in that submission? Or is it straight up, if she doesn't agree to that, then it's just not considered submission to you?
I would say that's subjective to the man. The man might be lenient on that, but it's all dependent upon the man that's have this vision, this purpose, this mission. If his mission was to find a wife that's going to be his Robin to his Batman, and then whenever the time comes, she don't want to be the Robin. For me specifically, she's not submissive. She should yield. I think you got some guys that will bend for her. Say, look, I know it's your passion. Go ahead and do your thing. I'll just find somebody else to do it. So it's subjective. But if we're talking about submission, and there is no condition, because women
what's
like to use that.
hurtful in that example, though, Darwin, is that she quit her practice to become a receptionist. And your form of submission is putting her in a lower position instead of just saying, you could come and be a doctor or a partner.
It's all about how
You
you
could come
interpret it.
or a
You
partner
interpret
at
it.
my law firm. Like, that's hurtful. You don't think that?
You interpreted it as a lower position. Actually, a
The
woman
receptionist?
aligning herself to her man's mission, his wealth generating system, taking her from under the white man. It's
No,
probably
not
the
that
highest
part.
position she could.
No, not that part. You saying, hey, come be a reception, like quit being a partner at a law firm and be a
You're
receptionist
looking
at
at
my law
you're
firm?
looking at
Why didn't she become a partner at your law firm?
well, obviously I'm not going to be if I'm an MD, if I'm a doctor and I got a pharmaceutical practice, obviously I'm not going to be practicing law, right? So I wouldn't have a law firm.
Well, no, I'm saying, why can't she, whatever job she quit is what I'm saying. Like, if you were both lawyers and you decided to open a practice, what sounds hurtful is when you're asking her to quit being a partner and come be a receptionist, as if her being a partner at that law firm wasn't valued to you. The only thing she could bring to your team is to be a receptionist. That sounds hurtful. That
She could
sounds
be
like, why doesn't she
not
carry as
only
much
can she be a
value?
receptionist, she can handle the legal policies and all of that stuff that has to do with a pharmaceutical. Making sure that
Exactly. That
we're
sounds like submission that a lot of women would get on the train with. That sounds
but
like
it's not
you
contingent.
respect me and
Submission is
I
not
feel
contingent.
valued.
But submission is not contingent about what a lot of women would get on the train for. Because
But
it's
they
all
would.
about, hey, I got a
So
request. Would you do it? Yes or no?
I do
You're trying
think
to throw
though
a
that
condition on it.
But how come? Why is being an employee or whatever contractor 1099? Why is that lower? How can that be lower? Your own business lower than you working for somebody. Your own
No,
business has more value. Wait, hold
no.
on. Your own business has way more value than someone else's business. It's yours.
It's your
I
name.
It's your
I
name,
think
right?
that
How is that lower? That's not lower. That's actually a step up. Like if you have experience working and building your own business, you're way more qualified than any other
I'm
employee
not
at any
talking
place.
about financially
I'm
lower.
not talking about financially. I'm talking about
Yeah.
no.
I'm
I'm talking
saying
about
if we're talking
intelligence.
about
I'm
in
not
our
talking about money.
relationship, it would hurt my feelings for my man to ask me to be a receptionist if he knows I'm capable of being at this other position that I could fill. Instead, you would go and give
It'll
it to a
hurt for a
stranger
moment.
instead of offering it to me, is what I'm saying. It
It'll
would
No,
hurt
be
I'm
for a
saying
hurtful.
moment.
what I'm saying is
so
I get the receptionist thing is triggering because it's like a lower, right? You're answering phone calls, maybe doing some paperwork. That might be, triggering, right? But it's your business. Like I would mop the floor and clean a toilet for my own business. I don't
I
have to
think
always
that
hire somebody. I think that if it's yours, you're way more qualified because you're going to gain so much experience that you would never get at a law firm. When we talk
what
about
she's trying to
business, we're talking
say
about
is
business.
more along the lines of, can the submission come with cultivating my strengths too, though? Because it's not really, I think it has less to do with like the reception position being triggering and more to do with it not being in my lane. Because I as a business owner and as somebody who's also looking for submission, like I totally understand where you're coming from in the sense of like, if a man is coming to me and he knows that I am a social worker and
And
you're
I'm
opening up
capable. Yeah.
a MD practice, your MD practice is likely going to interact with social workers. So why wouldn't I take over that department if that's my lane, right? So I think that what she was trying to say was less along the lines of taking a lower position, but can my strengths be cultivated through the submission?
Yes. Like, can I still do what I love to do, but do it with you? I don't have a problem giving it up over here because, yes, it is about us cultivating a family unit in full support of that, right? But can we find a way that I can still do what I'm passionate about? Can I still exercise my strengths? Can I still exercise 9 times out of 10 this career I'm super hard for, this degree that I work super hard for? Can I still do that with you?
That's a great
Why does the
question.
example
So
always have to be like a woman becoming like in this small position to prove that I'm willing to submit?
No,
The
but you
answer to
so
will.
that,
yeah, she can balance
You
that.
will,
She could
Lisa,
definitely balance that.
because you are going to eventually, let's say you're starting off as a receptionist. It's not saying you're going to stay as one. If you're a lawyer, every business needs a lawyer. It's just that this is where we starting off at. And then eventually, of course, your great husband will greatly appreciate the skills that you have and you will use it. You're just not using it right now. You're acting
Yeah,
like
but
that's like
why does
the
it have to
we have
wait?
an
Why does it have to
So
wait if she have those degrees
wait.
though? You get what I'm saying?
We
Like,
it's
actually
it
because
have
they're
sounds to me
building
Hold
like
on,
you
you got
guys
one
are
mic.
just
One mic.
you're
Go
we
ahead.
have
building a
we have an
business.
opportunity
Okay.
to actually show you exactly what submission is. Submission is, that was a great question, Laisha.
Mm.
Submission is doing it, even though you won't be able to do the role in which the field you're skilled in. That's what submission is. It's continuing to show up and align with your husband, even if the answer is no. Hey, you won't be able to do the legal side of the practice. That's what submission is.
Who'd you give it to?
What?
In your example, who'd you give it to then? If you told her no, who'd you give it to? A stranger on the street?
It's
Did
irrelevant.
you just place a stranger on the street over your wife?
It's irrelevant to who I gave it to.
No.
The question was,
nope.
Couture, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. You was asking for an example of submission, right?
Yeah, that's what she asked.
Example.
Yeah, I gave it. Yeah.
Submission is continuing to do it and continuing to show up, regardless of whether or not your feelings or whatever skill is satisfied in the scope of work that you're transferring to.
Is there room for autonomy in your definition of submission?
Is there room for autonomy?
No.
Explain what that is on the record, so we get on the record for understanding for people who don't know it.
I love both.
No, I know what it is, but I don't know if everybody else know what it is.
Because I don't feel like anybody on this panel is not intelligent enough to know what it is.
Well, we also got people watching too, so.
If you want to go through the definition, you are more than welcome
to. Autonomy is the simplest form, meaning self-governance or the capacity for independent decision making.
Thank you.
So I would say that you do have independent decision making, but there is a limit to it, because if I say, hey, look, hey, we need to move to Texas because of the market, and we're gonna sell the house, and you exercising your autonomy as far as decision making goes, we'd be like, no, well, I don't want to do that. So no. In that case, no.
So I guess.
But in this case, hey, I want to change the drapes in the living room or some shit. Okay, fuck it, go ahead. Dude,
so I'm over home decor and you're over our
I knew
livelihood.
y'all was gonna take it to an extreme.
Hold on. I'm not taking it